Now on Nightcast, dangerously cold. More snow is coming and temperatures are expected to dip well below zero. Thanks for staying up with us. I'm Alyssa Ivinson. We will get to your forecast in just a minute, but we have some breaking news. There is a huge fire at a restaurant on Coldwater Road. News Channel 15's overnight reporter Rod Hissong is live at the scene. Rod, what do we know? Thank you very much, Rod. And we want to go now to our other big story, the weather. Meteorologist Jesse Huila is in the weather center with what's going on. And there's actually some storms going through our area right now.
Yeah, it's like a thunderstorm almost. Yeah.
Thank you, Jesse. We are getting a lot of closings because of all of that cold and snow. So keep checking WANE.com and, of course, the scroll on the bottom of your screen for the very latest. And the city of Fort Wayne is opening 2 warming stations tomorrow. The community center at 233 West Main Street is open from 8 to 8. The Salvation Army at 2901 North Clinton Street is another warming station, and it's also an overnight shelter. That opens tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Both locations will stay open for the public use until further notice. Driving conditions have only gotten worse since yesterday. There are currently travel advisories in effect for more than half the state. We want to go back out live now to Rod Hissong for a look at the current conditions. We just heard from him about the fire on Coldwater Road. So, Rod, tell us, what are the road conditions like where you are now? Thank you very much, Rod. Now, tomorrow, state lawmakers will look at ways to crack down on the meth problem in Indiana. A House committee will discuss making all medications with pseudoephedrine prescription only. It's an epidemic that's not going away anytime soon. 1,800 meth labs found in Indiana last year. 270 were in Northeast Indiana.
As long as you can follow a cake recipe, you can make this stuff.
Cooks use the one-pot method in Indiana. To do that, you have to have pseudoephedrine, which is in some cold and allergy medications. Indiana law already puts them behind the pharmacy counter, and you have to show an ID and sign to get it. But the meth cases aren't dropping.
Every time we put a law into effect, they find a new way of going around it.
Now, some state lawmakers are talking about making the meds prescription only. Other states did that, and in Oregon,
within a 2-year period, they went from 540 labs to 20 statewide. Last year, they had 9. That kind of tells you what works.
Noble County ranked 3rd for the most meth labs last year, followed by Allen County in 4th place. Also at the State House tomorrow, all eyes will be on the House as it will discuss the proposed constitutional amendment to ban same-sex marriage, that's known as HJR 3. A report by the Indianapolis Star shows that right now House members are split. 38 say they'll vote for the amendment, while 38 say they'll vote against it. 13 are undecided and 11 refuse to say. Now, the measure needs 51 votes to pass. If the House passes the measure tomorrow, it will go for a final vote on Tuesday. If it does not pass tomorrow, the bill will be thrown out. More coverage you can count on after the break.
The Ivinson.
2 local boys are on a mission to make a difference, one Lego at a time. News Channel 15's Aaron Rogers has their story tonight from Studio 15. Now at 6, snowy Sunday. A winter weather advisory remains in effect for our area through tomorrow morning. Good evening, I'm Alyssa Ivinson. Let's get right to our first look at the forecast. Meteorologist Jesse Huila here, and we're actually looking at maybe breaking some records here.
Cold and snow. We'll talk about those records in the full forecast, but I want to talk about what...
One of the biggest concerns with weather like this is, of course, travel. Travel advisories are in effect for more than half of Indiana's counties. Allen County currently has the lowest level, just an advisory. The rest of our viewing area is under a watch, which means traffic conditions threaten public safety. The highest level, which is sometimes coded differently depending on the county, means that travel is restricted to emergency workers only. That means your trip to the mall can wait. Fewer cars on the roads mean crews can clear the snow more quickly and emergency vehicles can get through. If you do have to drive somewhere, though, be aware that it is not just slick roads. Poor visibility is also a problem with all of the blowing and drifting snow. That's especially on the county roads. And keep checking WANE.com and the scroll on the bottom of your screen for the travel alerts in your area. Power is back on for hundreds of customers in Woodburn. The harsh weather caused equipment issues at an Indiana-Michigan power substation early yesterday morning. That knocked out power to 1,600 customers at one point. Crews worked through the night to restore everyone's power. It was all back on by 9 this morning. A 20-year-old woman was arrested at a Fort Wayne hotel yesterday morning. She's being charged with murder in Illinois. Police say Alicia Walker of Akron, Ohio, stabbed a Chicago suburb teacher to death after meeting him online. 61-year-old Alan Fallon was found dead in his home Tuesday morning after he didn't show up for work. Walker told police she went to his home on January 18th after he contacted her through the website Backpage. Backpage is similar to Craigslist, where people can post classified ads. Police say the two got into a fight over money before Walker stabbed him. Orland Park police say Walker has been arrested in the past for drugs, prostitution, and battery. Walker is still in the Allen County Jail. Two local boys are on a mission to make a difference, one Lego at a time. News Channel 15's Erin Rogers spent the afternoon with the boys, and she has more on this story from Studio 15. Tomorrow, state lawmakers will be looking at ways to crack down on the meth problem in Indiana. A House committee will discuss making all medications with pseudoephedrine prescription only. Even though they are already behind the pharmacy counter and you have to show ID to buy them, meth labs have been increasing. Noble County is third in the state for meth lab incidences, followed by Allen County as fourth. 3 Rings of Fun took over Memorial Coliseum this weekend. The Mitzvah Shrine Circus kicked off Thursday and wraps up tonight. It features trapeze artists, animals, and plenty of clowns. The last show starts at 7 o'clock. Protesters gathered outside the Coliseum this weekend as well. They were spreading awareness of animal cruelty at circuses. The group claims that in order to train a wild animal like tigers, elephants, and alligators, they have to be abused. And they say it's not just the animal cruelty they're against.
A lot of times animals such as elephants carry tuberculosis. They have children downstairs riding the elephants, and coming in contact with an animal with tuberculosis, you can catch that.
This weekend, protesters also claim that circuses with animals are a drain on local economies because animal care and control is required to be stationed at all sites with animals in the building. In 3 years, bus service for several Indiana school districts could stop if a tax issue is not resolved. A 2012 law that's now in effect requires districts to apply property tax revenue to debt payments before other expenses. School representatives say those payments force them to dip into their transportation funds and could take up to 90% of the budget. 2 bills introduced in the state legislature aim to address the problem. People throughout the area were learning about Lutheran schools today. There are 17 elementary schools, and Concordia Lutheran High School held open houses this afternoon. People were able to tour the buildings and check out the facilities, as well as learn about the curriculum taught. Bishop Dwenger High School is celebrating 50 years of Catholic education today. Bishop Kevin Rhodes kicked off the day with an afternoon mass at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. Then the Dwenger family headed over to the University of St. Francis for a reception. Well, Jesse, all eyes are on you today. No pressure.
Yeah, and they have been over the last month
Oh,
or
yeah.
so. What an incredible